Hey folks, Matt Sharp here with another Pacific Angler Friday Fishing Report. We are filming for the middle of January, so if it's nowhere near the middle of January, click up here. This is a link to all the Friday Fishing Reports, and we do it at least every 2 weeks, so we should have something more up to date for you. This week I got a big one for you. I haven't tuned in since New Year's, so happy New Year's to everybody. We've got some decent steelhead reports. Looks like there's some good steelheading out there. I'm gonna go over that in detail. Obviously it's steelheading, so it's not an easy fishery for the beginner, but it's definitely worth hiking off some of that turkey dinner that we've all built up over the holidays. I'm gonna go over what's going up the Chilliwack Way because it's encouraging. Now on the egg eater side of things, where guys have been using salmon egg style presentations to target all the species that love eating salmon eggs, it hasn't been as good. We've heard some concerns from fisheries like the Squamish as well as up the valley, and it may be due to lower salmon numbers this year. We're not quite sure. I'm out this weekend. I'm gonna have more details in 2 weeks report, but we're gonna talk about the weather, how that's gonna affect the fishery going into the weekend. The saltwater guys, we've neglected you guys a little bit, but Jay did a really cool top 10 winter Chinook tip report in last week's report. I'll link directly to that because it's well worth tuning in on. And the fishing's been decent. I wouldn't say it's one of the best seasons ever, but it's been consistent. Most guys that go out and put in the time are finding fish. Prawning's been good and crabbing's been good, so it's definitely worth your while if you're considering getting on the boat, warming it up, making sure it's okay. Definitely worth doing this time of year for peace of mind. Now, on the fly front, I've got some flies from Andre that we've been missed going. We've got a cool white one as well as a fun articulated pattern that I definitely want to share with you, as well as I've got a steelhead fly tying course coming up. It's my essentials course and it's usually sold out, but I've got a couple spots left for it and it is this week, so next week when you guys see this. So give the shop a call if you're looking for a basic steelhead course. We're not too advanced, but it's a good one where we go over some of my favorite patterns. We go over the choking black and blue that I use, so make sure you check that out. Give the shop a call if you're interested. Last but not least, we are still running our best of 2020 fishing. 2020 was such a interesting year. I wanted to see some of the good memories from 2020, some of the fishing memories that you guys might have had. And so we have a $100 gift certificate to the shop on the line. Best picture, no criteria, just best fishing picture. That could be a personal best. That could be an epic scenery shot. That could be something hilarious that happened to you at fishing. We don't care, just send it in. As long as it's PG-14, it's good to go. And some of the stuff that's been sent is amazing. Hundreds of photos are already in, but don't hesitate to get down in the links below. Email us your best picture and have a chance to win that $100 gift certificate. We're gonna be announcing the winner in next report in 2 weeks from now, so you'll definitely wanna make sure you're tuned in for that. All right, as always, guys, you wanna see more reports like this, consider hitting the like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into the weather. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in with me for another weekend. Weather looks good for fishing. That's all I can say. So when we pull it up here, we've got Squamish weather here. It's going to be a little damp, but that's what we want to see, and it's going to be relatively warm with 7, 9, 8 on the forecast. That should be great. That's what we're usually looking for this time of year. Now, the reports have not been great, and that's been sort of everyone I've talked to. Sure, there's guys catching fish. It's still worth going, but it hasn't been as good as it should be this time of year, and it's leading to me to have some concerns. I'm out this weekend. I'm going to have more details. So the long story short, if you are out, treat every fish with the maximum amount of respect if and when you do hook one, as well as the habitat. I don't want you dragging your heels through those side channels. Make sure you're avoiding areas where salmon could be spawning, because I think it's a direct correlation, this fishery not doing as well, when we look at salmon numbers in different areas of rivers like the Squamish, like Upper Squamish, lake rivers up the valley, but something to keep an eye on. Hopefully I'll have more positive news next week. Roll it out at Chilliwack, and that's where we can talk a little bit more positive news. We are seeing some rain out that way, which is good. And this week, though, we got hammered by rain. There were really good windows of fishable water. So we had decent reports when the river was in shape, and we even had guys getting it when the river was almost out of shape. So that bodes well. That tells us that there's some fish in the system and it's worth going. If you guys are new anglers, steelheading is tough. You're going to do a lot more hiking than you are catching, so it might not be for you, but if you're a veteran or you're thinking about tackling it, it's worth going, worth putting boots to ground, burn off some of that turkey dinner. You won't regret it whether you hook one or you don't. Now, on the fly front, Andre has some cool flies for us. He's got a really fun articulated pattern, which you can incorporate into a bunch of stuff. It doesn't have to be this pattern, but this technique of articulating multiple shanks is super cool. I'm going to leave links to that up here. Definitely check it out if you want something fun, a little crafting if you're stuck inside over the weekend. The white pattern that he has that he just come out is a no-brainer. I always put different variations of white pattern in my box. Why? I think the white flashes silver, or silver flashes white, however you want to look at it. And there's a lot of predatory species that key in on that flash of silver. So whether you're fishing Cuba or you're fishing local rivers up to Alaska, this white style pattern is definitely worth looking at. I'm going to leave links to that up here as well. Now, lastly, on the fly front, we do have my course this weekend. So if you are a beginner to intermediate, I mean, you've done a little bit of fly tying, we're going to tackle some cool steelhead patterns. We're going to do the choking black and blue, so you get to sit with me, ask questions while we go through it. I'm going to leave links to that one up here because we have done a video on it, but it is fun to sort of sit down and talk through different strategies with a pattern. So give the shop a call. Down below will be the phone number. We do have a few spots for that available. All right, guys, that's everything I've got for you. I'm going to put the choking black and blue pattern, definitely a great steelhead pattern to look at right here. I'm going to put one of Andre's patterns, that white one, up here, and make sure you guys send in your best of 2020 photos. And as always, you want to see more reports like this, considering that like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll catch you in 2 weeks.